Morning. I want to show you something. Excuse the mess, but that's kind of why we're here. You see all that? Completely ignore that gigantic crack through the middle of my floor. It's not a problem. What I really want to show you is look at all this stuff all over the ground here. Every day I come into this studio and I look at that concrete and I say to myself, I'm going to turn that into a texture pack someday because I think it's cool. The only reason I haven't is because I already have a couple of concrete and stone texture packs up on superlative.com, and well, I don't want to be known as just the concrete and stone guy. I think it's important for me to diversify before I release another one, but it's coming at some point, I promise. I'm sharing this with you because this is how I see the world. Like, I literally will walk around my town and I'll just like have my head on a swivel, eyes just pinpointed on anything that I can take and use to my own benefit. I mean, it's not just for my benefit. Of course, I'm making these things and then I'm sharing them with the world so that hopefully you can turn around and go make things yourself. My family's gotten used to this too, but I'll be walking around the city and I'll just stop. I'll just stop my tracks to take a picture of some texture or distressed typography. My son's probably tired of how many times I've had to pull off to the side of the road because I've just like, I gotta stop and take a picture of this thing right now. It's just the way I see this world, and perhaps it's a little bit of a curse, but it's also been quite a blessing for me too. But it didn't come to me naturally. Like, I literally had to train my eyes and my brain to work together to find this stuff in the world. It's a preoccupation, and like, my family's tired of it, and maybe, you know, anybody who visits me is like, dude, here's Dave taking another picture of some dirt on the ground. But let me be clear about this right off, because this isn't just about me going around taking nice pictures of cool things. And it's not even just about using the photos and turning it into some cool art or design projects. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's rad. I do it all the time. If you follow Superlative on Instagram, which if you're not, you should, but if you are, then you've seen a lot of different posts up there, and most of those posts have been created using the assets that I made. But those assets, they weren't assets until I made them assets. These were just tools that I used to make my stuff until I realized, like, I could actually share them with other people. I talked previously about how I tried to share my assets on places like Creative Market and Envato, but got rejected numerous times. If you've ever applied to one of those services and got rejected, I'm sure you understand exactly how I feel. Because, well, okay, go down to the comments right now and tell me, did you ever apply to a place like Creative Market or Envato or something similar, and did you get rejected? If so, how did that feel? Or if you got accepted, how did that feel? Because I want to know about that. Because I'll tell you, for me, the rejection was discouraging because here I am thinking I'm a pretty competent designer. In fact, I thought it was better than a lot of the people that I was seeing up on those websites, and I was the one getting rejected? So that sucked for a moment, but then I realized that, well, I'm me, and so I'm just going to go off and do it my damn self. Except I didn't. In fact, I did what most designers probably would do in that situation, is go wallow in your own sorrow. And then you go back over to YouTube and go into all these tutorials to teach you all the hot new techniques so that you can learn how to do something in Photoshop or Photo or Procreate or whatever. Because I was sure that the problem was just that I didn't know how to do the things that these marketplaces wanted me to do. Like, if I wanted to be good, if I wanted to be accepted in these marketplaces, well, then I better go learn how to do exactly what everybody else is doing. Please don't ever be like me. Please don't ever do that to yourself, because that is a death curse for a creative. Stop comparing your skills to the rest of the design world, that just because you're not doing exactly what everybody else is doing, that doesn't make you good enough. The problem with learning new techniques on places like Photoshop and Photo or whatever is that they are probably only useful a couple of times before they get cliche and boring. We learn this hot new technique, we use it for a little while, then we get bored so that we go back and learn another hot new technique and do this whole cyclical process over and over and over again. By the way, that's largely why you don't see me making tutorial content like that so much anymore, because I'm not about the one and done content anymore. I'm definitely not trying to cater to the algorithm gods just to get people in the door, show them how to do something new, just to have them turn around and leave and never come back. Feels bad, man. The only way that would ever feel gratifying to me is if somebody actually took the technique that I taught them, turns around and goes and makes something cool, and then turns that into something that generates recurring revenue for themselves. That'd be kind of rad. I mean, I'd love to be the one to make that recurring revenue, but, you know, if somebody else did that, cool. But the thing is, you don't have to go watch a bunch of tutorial videos to make that happen for yourself. I mean, let me show you something. Into the screen. What you see here are a couple of the poster designs that I did for a daily poster project last year. I've got literally dozens of these in my, on my computer right now. Every single day I would make a new design, and then I would turn that design into a one-of-a-kind poster that you could buy. The crazy thing is that they were only like $50. The price of that doesn't nearly justify how much time and energy I spent on some of these designs. I literally put a limit on how much money I could make from each of these, which for me is just insane. But here's the thing, I still have the layered files for all of these, and I could strip out this text and just use these backgrounds or some elements from this and turn this into a texture pack itself. Maybe somebody doesn't want the whole thing, but could they use part of this poster? Could they use part of this one or this one? What is stopping me from taking the things that I've already made and turning them into something else for other people to enjoy? And yeah, these posters as textures, that's gonna happen at some point. But this isn't just about digital assets. This is about using our skills and abilities, stop focusing on just what our clients need, and actually making things that not only satisfy our own needs, but have the potential to benefit others as well. Let me show you what I mean. I wanted a journal, I made a journal. I wanted a smaller journal, I made a smaller journal. I wanted a shirt, I made a shirt. I wanted a hat, I made a hat. New iPhone, it needed a case. My son wants to be a YouTuber, kind of like his dad, but he wants to be a gamer. Anyway, he drew this picture to represent his intention. I turned around, made it a collaborative piece, and turned it into a puzzle for him, because he likes puzzles. By the way, this hat right here, it's kind of dirty and grungy, and I decided it's about time that I got myself a new hat. So I made myself a new hat. In fact, I did it while I was making this video. Now, if you go to superlative.com right now, you probably won't see this on the front page at all. You'll have to be a little industrious to find it. But here, I just made this bold snapback hat. Just like that, I decided that's what I want. So I made it. I don't have it yet, but it's coming. And if you wanted one, you could buy one yourself. Or you could go make one yourself. And that's exactly my point. And I'm not a big things guy. I don't buy a lot of stuff for myself. In fact, most of my hats and shirts are blank. But with all the abilities that I have, why on earth would I ever give up control over what gets displayed on my stuff? And if I'm going to be making these things already, why wouldn't I give the opportunity to others to buy from, well, me, as opposed to like some giant corporate brand? This is where the giant corporate brands live, over here. And I realize I've created a bit of a conundrum for myself because, yeah, I would absolutely positively love for you to go buy all of your digital assets from superlative.com. But then I just turned around and told you to go do it yourself. And I hope you do. In fact, I encourage it still. Because if you turn around and go make your own graphic assets, well, that presents an opportunity to possibly work together in the future. Maybe you could be a featured designer over on superlative.com. It could happen, but you better get to work. See you next time. Oh, by the way, the Poster Maker Poster Design course opens this week. And if you get in before the start date, you can actually get it for the pre-sale price. But after that, it goes up. So jump in. Let's go.